Imagine the very last spacecraft to ever touch the surface of Venus. This probe marked the final chapter of a massive and high-stakes Soviet program designed to explore the most extreme environment in our solar system. What Soviet scientists discovered upon landing forever altered our understanding of the cosmos and explained why humanity has never attempted to return. The central mystery of Venus lies in its duality. While being nearly a twin to Earth in many respects, it is transformed into a veritable hell unlike anything else. In our time, all eyes are fixed on Mars, but at the dawn of the space age, it was Venus that captured the attention of researchers. The reason was simple. The surface of Mars could be seen even through powerful Earth-based telescopes, making it understandable, whereas Venus remained shrouded in mystery. Venus sits closer to the Sun than our home planet. This proximity sparked the wildest fantasies in the minds of last-century scientists. Many seriously believed that hidden beneath the dense layer of clouds was a world covered in thick tropical forests or boundless oceans, teeming with life similar to that of Earth millions of years ago. However, reality proved far harsher than any speculation. The dense atmosphere we see from Earth is not merely steam or fog. It is a formidable barrier creating colossal pressure and trapping heat. Soviet scientists decided to break through this veil at any cost to reveal the true face of the planet that had become the primary target of the Venera program. The first missions faced incredible difficulties. Spacecraft designed for conditions far exceeding those of Earth were simply crushed before they could reach the surface. Every new attempt required increasingly durable materials and innovative engineering solutions, turning the race for knowledge into a genuine battle against the laws of physics. Finally, the moment of triumph arrived. One of the probes managed not only to survive the descent, but to touch down softly on the surface without turning into a heap of metal in the first few seconds. A faint radio signal traversed millions of kilometers of void, carrying data that the scientific world had been awaiting for decades. It was the first successful landing and recording of surface conditions on another planet in human history, proving that Soviet engineering could overcome the impossible. The transmitted figures painted a picture of true hell. The surface temperature exceeded 450 degrees Celsius, enough to melt lead. Atmospheric pressure proved to be 90 times higher than Earth's, comparable to diving nearly a kilometer deep into a terrestrial ocean. Venus revealed itself to researchers as a giant planetary pressure cooker, with the very existence of any known form of life seemed like an absolute absurdity. The pinnacle of the program was the first ever panoramic images of the surface. Through static and radiation, the outlines of an alien world slowly began to emerge on mission control screens. These were not the expected jungles or seas. Scientists were presented with a lifeless, rocky desert bathed in a dim, sickly yellow light. The horizon appeared strangely distorted, as if the world were viewing the researchers through a thick pane of murky, red-hot glass. One of the most frightening features of Venus turned out to be its chemistry. The clouds we see from above are not made of life-giving moisture, but of concentrated sulfuric acid. These corrosive vapors fall as rain that evaporates before reaching the surface due to the monstrous heat, creating an endless cycle of chemical hell. The greenhouse effect here has reached its absolute limit. The dense atmosphere traps heat so effectively that the night side of the planet is just as hot as the day side. The Venera 13 mission holds a special place in history. This apparatus was a true technological marvel of its time, operating on the surface for over 2 hours in conditions that should have destroyed it in minutes. It not only transmitted the first color panoramic shots, revealing an orange sky and dark brown rocks, but also recorded the sounds of the Venusian wind. This was the only time humanity literally heard the breath of another planet before silence and pressure finally consumed the brave probe. After the triumphant missions of the 80s, interest in landing on Venus began to wane. Scientists realized that creating a device capable of surviving there for even a few days required technologies that remain beyond the realm of possibility even today. The cost of each mission was colossal, and the risk of instant communication lost too great. Venus turned into the forgotten planet, ceding its place to Mars, which, though cold, seems far more hospitable for future colonists and research rovers. Venus is not just a dead world. It is a dire warning for all of humanity. It serves as a vivid example of what happens to a planet when the greenhouse effect spirals out of control. Billions of years ago, oceans of liquid water may have existed here, but as the sun warmed and carbon dioxide accumulated, the water evaporated, and the planet turned into a scorched tomb. By studying Venus's atmosphere, we learn to understand the fragile balance of our own Earth. Despite the hell on the surface, at an altitude of 50 kilometers above the ground, Venus presents a surprise. There, pressure and temperature are nearly identical to Earth's. Some scientists suggest that microscopic forms of life could exist in these temper cloud layers. The sensational discovery of phosphine, a gas often produced by bacteria on Earth, has reignited debates that Venus might be habitable not on its solid ground, but in its endless skies. Today, after decades of silence, we stand on the threshold of a new triumphant return to the morning star. The world's leading space agencies are designing next-generation spacecraft that will peer beneath the cloud cover using powerful radars and lasers. We plan to challenge the colossal pressure once again to unlock the final secrets of our twin planet. Venus is no longer forgotten. It is once again becoming the key to understanding how worlds are born and die throughout the universe. The legacy of the Soviet Venera program remains one of the most outstanding achievements in the history of astronautics. In an era when computers filled entire halls and calculations were done on paper, engineers managed to create machines capable of withstanding an environment that cannot be fully replicated on Earth. These devices became our eyes and ears where human flesh would vaporize in an instant. Every photograph transmitted and every minute of recording is a monument to human audacity and a thirst for knowledge that knows no bounds. Venus will forever remain a mirror planet for us. It demonstrates how thin the line is that separates a blooming garden from a scorched desert. Through the example of our neighbor, we see that planetary climate is not a constant, but a fragile system that is easily destroyed. Gazing at the poisonous clouds and red-hot rocks of Venus, we begin to appreciate the coolness of Earth's oceans and the purity of our air more acutely. This knowledge is the most valuable cargo brought back to us by automatic stations from their long and dangerous journey. Our journey to the morning star is far from over. We have only lifted the veil on its secrets, and ahead lie new discoveries that may revolutionize our understanding of life in the universe. Venus reminds us that space is not just alluring stars, but also harsh lessons we are obliged to learn. As long as this bright, mysterious world shines above the horizon, humanity will continue to build ships to one day descend into hell again for the triumph of science and the future of our entire civilization.
Thank you for subscribing.